welcome to Facebook Live. Thanks for tuning in with us. We are going to be talking today about the coronavirus, but even deeper than that, the immune system, what's going on not only at a physical level, but also an emotional and a spiritual level right now, what we've been observing, and really anything that we can do to kind of help ease the tension that's going on right now, offer any advice. So please, if you have any questions, go ahead and let us know. We will try to answer them. And what I'm going to do also is, and I'm going to mention this again, but I'm going to be offering a free Saito Scan to anyone who is participating and watching us today. So if you're interested, hi Marnie, in receiving a distant Saito scan, it's basically just kind of check like what your body might be needing at this moment, supplement wise, essential oil wise. You can let us know. Hey Nikki. So if anyone's interested in receiving that Saito scan, halfway through here I'm going to be running one of those Saito scans. I will be offering Saito scans at $20. They're long distance. You do not need to be here. I can access the information for you, and we can just kind of make a phone session, and I can go over what came up in your scan. And if you have any questions, I can dive a little bit deeper into that. Hi, Mama. If you're interested in that, then go ahead and let us know that you'd like to be one of the recipients of that. I am going to do that live on Facebook tonight so everyone can kind of see what that is and the information that I received from that. One of the things that I want to talk first about with all of this, first of all, I'm here, I'm Ramika, I do the acupuncture. Melissa's here, she does Akashic record readings, she's amazing with the crystals. Melissa and I talk so much about like what's going on, how do we interpret this, how can we help people kind of filter all the information about things that are going on. And everyone here has, their wish is to make everyone feel better. But right now, what's going on, the very first thing, hi Mom and Dad, love you too, Ma. The first thing that I want to address is the anxiety in all of this. And hi Maxine, thank you. You're amazing too. The thing is no matter how hard we are trying to, I was going to see if you could try to get that in my Facebook thing for me. Even if we're trying to stay calm during all of this right now, it's still hard because there is this collective energy that our own energetic space is picking up on. Hi Janelle, thanks for tapping in. All of my practitioners who tap in, please,
Sorry.
it's okay. If my practitioners have information that they want to, if a question is asked and they want to throw in their answers, please, all hands on deck here. But our auras is our energetic field. And the way that I see that is it's like ants that have feelers and they're feeling their environment. Our auras are like that, and so they're picking up on this shared energy from everyone all around us. So it's not like this stuff is just going on in our city or in our state or in our country. This is something that's going on worldly, and so we're automatically feeling this tension, this anxiety that is expressed by everybody else. So our bodies are already on like heightened alert right now. And so really trying to calm the anxiety is a huge part in helping to keep your immune system boosted, but also to really see like why is this happening, and what can we learn from this, and how can we move forward from this in the best possible way. Here at Natural Healing Centers, we are still open and we're taking clients as usual. We are respecting the guidelines of trying to keep only 10 people in our establishment, and so we're doing everything possible to keep everybody safe and healthy as well. But this is our field. We are here to try to help you calm your body, strengthen your immune system, and learn how to absorb what's going on so many different levels. When Melissa and I were talking about this, and I just asked like, what is the message from this right now? And the first thing I heard was see. And it brought me back to 2020 in general. So if you were to watch things just about 2020, we're talking about how to see things and perceptions. And if you look at this, so we look at like, okay, it's causing anxiety, but if you look at that a little bit deeper, it's about what's causing anxiety in you. Because the way that everybody is seeing this and interpreting all of this is different depending on you and your life experiences and what makes you feel safe or unsafe. And so if you really ask everybody what they're seeing from all of this, they're going to give you all these different answers. This is perception. So Melissa and I do classes called Know Thyself, and in these classes, that's what we're looking at, is like from all of your life experiences, how does what's happened in your life empower you, and how does that teach you who you are in this world and the message that you came to bring in your own body and your own soul. And everyone has a different message. And it's moments like this that really wake us up and try to show us who we are and what we came here to see. Before I go further, I will keep talking forever, so let me give you a moment, and please just overtalk me when you need to.
I like with the anxieties right now, I'm going to interject with crystal suggestions there. So first of all, I've been really liking this apatite for clearing the mind. Apatite is a dual action stone, so it's going to take out negativity and bring in clarity. Right now, I think in line with everything that you're saying, 2020 is about opening your eyes, clearing your vision, getting your head right. We're kind of being forced to look at ourselves right now with everybody having to withdraw from social events and kind of be at home with our families and by ourselves, some of us. So that brings a lot of things into perspective. So as always, the perspective stone, the labradorite, this is going to help you see that even though all of this chaos is going on in the world right now, there are things to be learned, things to be uncovered, ways to help you step back and objectively look at the situation. So a good silver lining in all of this would be this moment to step back and kind of come back to ourselves, really ground what we've learned so far in our lives and get in touch with where we want to be going. Sodalite is a great... Did I say sodalite already?
No.
Sodalite is... I always think of it as the truth stone, wisdom. That's good to incorporate now. I've been working with Aquamarine. Aquamarine is got the energy of the sea, so it's going to help... Yeah, it's like a white. It's going to help you to calm your mind and dive into your emotions.
I have to say, Aquamarine reminds me of Mother Mary.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, with that one, it's like that, like, motherly support of even, like, I'm scared, I'm worried, and, like, you hold that one and, like, listen to how your mother would comfort you.
And actually, that's perfect because this is Howlite. Howlite, I know you like to refer to that one as the Jesus crystal. That one's great for calming. That has a very beautiful light energy to it. As always, blue kyanite. Blue kyanite is a transmutation stone, so it's going to take what is going on and bring it up to a higher vibration, so you don't get stuck in the story of what's going on and you're able to see from a higher perspective. Opalite is a beautiful one to work with. I've been loving on this one for a couple weeks now. That is a great crown chakra crystal. Even just looking at it, I mean, a lot of them look almost like glass, and it reminds me of perception again, that same kind of idea, seeing things differently. And then amethyst. A lot of people work with amethyst for mind crystals. It's got a very calming, soothing energy. Again, it's crown chakra. And then for grounding, any of the black crystals, so black obsidian, black onyx, black tourmaline. I love tiger's eye. I use that all the time for grounding. And I like desert rose because it's an elemental crystal. It was formed with all the elements in the sand, and it reminds me of grounding in a way of bringing in higher vibrational energy. It's a selenite, so it clears out too.
Just want to say hi, Mama Lobianco and Trisha and Matt. Thank you. You guys are always watching. Thank you so much. Hi, Nikki. If you want to chime in, please let us know. And again, anyone who's interested in me running a Saito scan for you, let me know if you're interested in that, because when Monica gets here, she's working the front desk right now. When she gets back here and talks about the oils, I'm going to go ahead and run a Saito scan for someone who's watching with us who kind of wants to know like how to help out their immune system. Go ahead.
And then I brought in a couple crystals just for the time, I think. I like sunstone. It's a joy crystal. It has the energy of the sun, especially with the weather right now. We're in spring weather, so it's rainy. And I like this. It brings the sunlight through the clouds. And then rose quartz, of course. If you guys, I know, you guys, if you watch any of the videos, you know that I always bring this in as like a baseline crystal for any bundle. I like the energy of, having the unconditional love as a support in the bundles.
So Melissa mentioned time, and this is a whole other thing that she's been like really like feeling, but I love this, and this is why I'm asking other practitioners to kind of bring in their information too. And so Melissa's been talking about time. It was something I was not drawn to right away, but ever since she said it, I've been meditating on it, and so of course I watch Ancient Aliens, and they were just talking on this one that I saw about all these ancient structures and how they were aligned. So all of their walls were basically set up north, south, east, west, and they are tying all of these places that were built around the same time. They're all facing different ways, which is pointing towards the North Pole, which has changed in our lifetime to the placement on Earth. And so it's really about like what's going on in your reference now. So a lot of times we have like, oh, okay, so if I get anxious, then I do this, and then that makes me feel better, and then I'm okay. But what happens when your point of reference changes? So we have like the basic questions like, who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? But what if where you're going changes? Now, like your other questions change too, and you can learn and expand on this, because there is really no such thing as time. Time is an illusion, and time is a constraint here in a third dimensional world. And so right now we're like having this opportunity to really expand our thoughts and our thinking. It is our fears that limit us in everything that we can do. But when we look at those fears and we conquer those fears, all of a sudden those limitations disappear, and now our world is so much more wide open. And so really this is like, we have to really use everything that's ever going on in our life. I always feel like it's all for you. It's all for you. The way the stars are aligned, it's all for you. Whatever's going on, it's all for you. Right now we're being put into this time in our life where we have to go into a quiet place. And so now what happens? So a lot of times people will have a hard time sleeping at night because they're so distracted in their whole day. A thought comes up, but they can push it aside because they have to get groceries and they have to make dinner and they have to make sure this kids and blah, blah, blah. There's always all of this stuff to distract us all day long. So we don't ever, that thought comes in and we push it away because we stay distracted. Now we have some time. Before we go to bed, we have some time to think about that. And so the thoughts kind of keep us up all night. Right now, we're going to have that time to think about things. And so we're going to start feeling anxious because the thoughts are there. And what else can I do? So people try to stay as busy as they can and keep distracting all those thoughts. But what happens if we actually just sit for a moment and acknowledge what's going on? What happens if we actually say, oh my gosh, that was something I've been afraid of my whole life. But now, based on all my life experiences, I don't have to be afraid of that. That was actually kind of silly. I survived all of that. I made it through all of that. If I made it through all of that, I wonder what else I could make it through. And so right now we're given such a great opportunity to sit and meditate and ask for divine assistance for all of this stuff that's going on, but also to pay attention to our body when it says, I'm not okay with this. I'm not good with this. And all we have to do is respond back and say, okay, let's look at that. Let's see what we can do to work on that. So the very first thing that I wanted to do was work on the physical body, the physical immune system. When I am treating people, so everyone is respecting everything that's going on and no one is coming in with symptoms that would, infect anybody. And so thank you. But of course, I'm still treating hormonal regulation and aches and pains in the body and everything that's going on. But of course, when they come in, no matter what, I'm still immune boosting their system. And so right now, your vitamin C, yes, keep taking it. Ever since January, I would say, is when really all these symptoms started occurring, that I started seeing them clinically. And vitamin C, there is a client that sees Melissa weekly who comes in and is just so sweet, and he gave, it's this Garden of Life vitamin C. I know I got it. Did I bring it?
You want to go grab it?
I swear I brought it in here. It's in my office, but
Okay, we'll go grab it.
it's a spray, vitamin C. We do not sell it here. He brought it though, and I love it because my kids would take it. And it's something you can get on Amazon. But it's a spray, vitamin C. As soon as he brought it, it's been by my desk. I've been taking it about 6 sprays at least twice a day, just to help keep boosting my immune system, because I was working on people who were coughing and sick all the time. And I think it did wonders for my immune system. We also have liquid forms of vitamin C. So people are getting vitamin C infusions. The liposomal vitamin C that we carry by Bio is like the closest that you will get to that. It does not have to go through the digestive system. It gets absorbed right into the cells. This is the Garden of Life vitamin C that I love, that kids will take. We also have Conjuplex, which is wonderful, really great for lung conditions, for your thymus gland, your immune system. It has vitamins A and C in that. Well, that's a great one to be taking right now. The lungs seem to be what gets affected in here, and so white foods are really good for the lungs. So your onions and garlic, the more raw, the better. The more they're going to get deeper into that system and disperse things in that system. Once I was sick, and my sister said, my dad says, good job.
Oh, thanks.
So she made me this tea, took a garlic clove, unpeeled it, cut off the ends of it, and poured boiling water over it, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and she gave it to me, and she was like, you have to drink this garlic tea. And I was like, oh, I don't want to, but I did, and I felt great. I felt amazing, and so now that's something that I just do to help open up my lungs, clear my system. What garlic does is it gets into your system and it pushes things out. So both garlic and onions have this dispersing effect on the body. And when I used to have garlic in the past, what used to happen is I used to either feel like a heartburn sensation or like a migraine. And what that meant was my circulation was really bad. So as the garlic came in and had this dispersing effect, it would get stuck in my body. So I had to work on my circulation before I could really allow this magical food to work in my body. But the garlic tea is pretty gentle, so you don't have that really strong sensation, but it really still works to really open up the lungs there for you. Some other things, we have other things that are specifically for fighting virus. You've got the vitamins A in here, selenium, the L-lysine, the olive leaf, lemon balm. We have so many things. People are talking about the colloidal silver right now like crazy, and so we have Smart Silver by Desbio, which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's nothing you have to ever worry about it turning like blue, which sometimes you hear about some colloidal silvers. But it's that one's great for anything. You can spray it anywhere. You can spray it in ears if there's ear infections, in eyes if there's eye infections, on cuts. If you get a cut, instead of using that peroxide, you can spray the Smart Silver to not only help as an antibacterial, but to also help with healing of the skin. It's amazing. It's one of my sister's most favorite products ever.
Me too. I love that stuff.
Yeah, so you can. All of these are just some good ideas just to help be preventative in all of this and to help boost your immune system. But also when you do come down with something, it really helps to help your system fight that as well. And then if anyone has of course, you don't eat your foods that have all this, and you don't have to get all of these. But of course, I'm really picky about the supplements that I sell here. And so everything that I give, I make sure it goes by my standards of good supplements, things that I will give my family, my own children, and I do. Okay, so another really important one, again, because of the anxiety, because when our systems are anxious, our immune system's lower. And so it's really important, besides all of this stuff to boost your immune system, you have to help calm the body. And it's the same with children right now too. So my favorite thing here is the magnesium gummies that we sell too. Magnesium really helps to calm the body, besides all of the other millions of functions that it's doing in the body. But children are feeling all of this too, and they're as calm as their parents are. So if the parents are calm, the children are calm. If they can sense that moms and dads are stocking up on toilet paper and doing all this other stuff, they're worried. Even if they're saying, I know we're doing this because we're okay, it's still creating some anxiety in their body, and that's going to lower their immune system. Besides all of this viral stuff that's going on, there's a lot of bacterial stuff that's going on there too. So there's sore throats and ear infections. We also have a lot of support for bacterial things, so you don't have to run out and get an antibacterial, what are those things? Antibiotic?
Yeah.
Especially if all the doctor's offices are filled and everything's going on. Calm down the body. We can help support the immune system. Of course, if it's getting bad, yes, go to your doctors. It's just we don't want to even go out there and expose or overcrowd these areas either. So we're really trying to do whatever we can to calm those systems down. So a little magnesium for the kids and the moms and dads is amazing, just to help keep everyone in a calmer state. Physically in the body, another huge thing, detoxing. Okay, so still, because we're locked in, go for a run, sweat, try to help your body detox, eat your cruciferous vegetables. If your body is not detoxing, it's not going to get rid of all of the junk it's picking up. So make sure you do whatever you can. Soak your feet in Epsom salts. That will help gently detox the body as well. But you want to make sure that you keep your body detoxing properly so you can get rid of all of the toxins your body is accumulating as well. Okay, and you want to jump in there on anything?
With the detoxing, I thought about shungite too. I think that might be a nice crystal to add in if you are doing that. I feel like that does that. Even like a
Yeah.
bloodstone circulation,
Yep.
it brings it regulates the blood flow in the body, the circulation.
Yeah, that's beautiful for circulation. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay, so now I'm going to jump into the emotional part of all of this. Lungs is what's getting affected, so I'm going to talk about the emotions that are connected to the lungs here. One of the biggest ones is grief. And so this can be sadness from loss of anything. So it can be from never properly grieving the loss of someone in your life. This can also be the loss of a friendship, the loss of a job, the loss of anything is accumulated in our lungs. So I had a client come in, and she was from probably like the end of last year. She went to a wedding for this one friend. It was out of town, but during that time she was going through a lot of her own personal turmoil. And so she took one day from this weekend with her friend to just kind of process her own stuff, but she was fully present, and she really felt that she needed to just take some time away to not bring in her stuff to her friend's joyous moment. So when I saw her just this week, one of the things that came up in her Saito scan was about grief. And I asked her about it, and she said, I'm still upset about the friendship. And I said, okay. And so this is a technique, and this is something with all of these emotions that are coming up. There are so many ways to dive deeper into this moment. One of my most favorite ways is by Nikki, who's logged on here. One of the ways that she gets to the root of this so quickly is you take that moment, you close your eyes, and you think, when was the very first time that I remember feeling like this? And so I had her do that. She closed her eyes and she said, oh. And she goes, I was about 7 years old. And my grandfather, I was living with my grandparents at that time in Chicago. She's from Mississippi, and she was living with her grandparents in Chicago, and she heard the ice cream truck. And so she got all excited, and her grandfather gave her all these coins to go get ice cream. And she went to go get the ice cream, but the ice cream truck passed her up, and she was running, she couldn't catch it. But she saw all of these kids standing there, and she decided to give these coins to the kids that were standing there. It made her feel really good. So she went back home, and her grandpa's like, where's your ice cream? And she's like, I missed the truck. He goes, well, then where's my money? She goes, I gave it away. And he goes, you what? Why'd you do that? And he started yelling at her and yelling at her and yelling at her. And she couldn't even explain to him that in that moment, that's what made her feel so good. Giving the children the coins made her feel as if she got ice cream and was eating ice cream. And so now in this moment in her life with her friend, she felt like she was never able to express to her friend exactly what happened, like her side of the story. And so this anxiety of just being like yelled at and not being able to communicate is this feeling that was getting like stuck in her lungs. And see, all of these things, this situation will always repeat. And I bet if I asked her, like, can you remember anything in between where that ever happened again? She would have many stories of that thing repeating, because this is something that she never really got over. And I said, now, you who you are right now, you need to go back to that little girl and you have to tell her, I'm so proud of you for doing what you did and for feeling good about giving. And you need to go ahead and have that conversation and explain that to your grandpa in your head and say, Grandpa, I just hope you understand, like, I didn't need the ice cream. I actually just needed to go do that. That was like what my soul really needed me to do at that moment. And for her to understand that what she did wasn't bad. It was really good. And it's a part of who she is. And that's exactly where all of this is taking us right now, is understanding that all of these life experiences that we have, all those things where we felt like anxious or whatever else was going on, this is like a chance to really understand, oh my gosh, that's what really makes me happy. And oh my gosh, that got kiboshed such a long time ago that I never really got over it. So even looking at what is this, everything that's going on in this world, like where does it get you? Where does it scare you? Like what's going on? Take a look at it. Journal about it. Go to your first memories about these things. And even if you're like, oh, I don't even care about that, but then what is it that's bothering you? So say it has nothing to do with coronavirus or being stuck in your house. What's still eating you right now? A relationship, a limitation, whatever it is. Take this time right now to really go and see where that got created, what lessons you need to learn, because this will help open up this energy that's stuck in your lungs so that you can keep your lungs stronger.
On that, I want to say, with doing this work, it can feel or seem like I don't know how to do this, I don't know the questions to ask, I don't know the protocol or whatever, but really it's paying attention. So when these emotions arise, instead of coming from resistance, allow yourself to experience it, and then later, when you can clear your head of the emotional weight of it, you can ask, this situation made me feel this way. Why? Why did I feel that? And then you can go in with these questions that are, when was the first time I felt that? What in my life created that? All those questions. But just pay attention as it comes up. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be structured or anything. It's just ebbing and flowing with your emotions right now. And the crystal that's good for that I've been working with is red goldstone. This one's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. A lot of the kids like this one too. Mm-hmm. And malachite. Malachite we had talked about recently. This is a great heart chakra crystal. I know that it is very connected to the earth, and it's great for releasing buried negative emotions.
Malachite's also great for all of this, like picking up on everybody else's emotions. And so sometimes it's like the emotion matches, like the anxiety matches, but then we're disconnecting from like what's really my anxiety. So malachite helps you to get your aura closer to yourself and get closer to asking those questions like, okay, of all of this going on, what is mine? Some really great remedies to work with here. These are Bach flower remedies, B-A-C-H, however you want to pronounce that. But Calm 5. My daughter, she's in charge of putting the drops in everybody's water. And she's like, well, we all need Calm 5, so Calm 5 is going in everybody's water today, along with whatever immune system support we're doing, and also fields of flowers. And so these are just different flower remedies to help you be able to explore those emotions, let them come up without them feeling too much. Marnie, who is doing our cooking classes here and doing a Mediterranean cooking class coming up, foods high in vitamin C, bell peppers, broccoli, sweet potatoes, strawberries, tomatoes, kale, Swiss chard, I think maybe, and cauliflower. So those are some foods that you can add into your diet to help with that as well. Besides, of course, your orange foods. I am going to have Monica come up here. Pam is here too. Okay, Pam says she's just listening, and so she can't wait to jump in and say something.
I don't know if you guys sound already though.
Monica's going to talk about some essential oils.
Cool. All
To
right.
use right now.
Yes. So There are a lot of studies done. If you go online, like tons of studies on PubMed.org, about different essential oils and like bacterial things and viral things. So we're really kind of focusing on the viral things right now. I have a list here. Bergamot is a really good one, and it's actually kind of nice to diffuse that because it smells amazing. Whereas some of the other ones are not so great to smell, like thyme, oregano, eucalyptus, cinnamon's good as well. Tea tree, kind of smelly, so I don't know. I've been putting it in my little hand sanitizer here. You can make a sanitizer with some of these as well, or I can make one for you. And clove is another really good one. So if we're focusing on viral stuff, those are the main ones that I would focus on. You can even get some of the blends. Like I know here we have the plant therapy, and this is a kid-safe one. This one's the Immune Boom. So that would have like several different essential oils in here. So it would help with like bacterial and viral. But yeah, I've been really using my On Guard, which is a blend, and then I'll throw some of the tea tree oil, which is Melaleuca, and just constantly diffuse that. But it's nice to switch around and, just change it up a little bit, and then go with like your mood too, because they all have like mood properties. So we're talking about like being calm and helping, breathe and respiratory stuff. So that would be like eucalyptus, and maybe put like eucalyptus and a citrus together. So it would be like bergamot and eucalyptus. So you can play around with it. The worst thing that can happen is you mix them and they don't smell very good. Or look online and you can find some really cool ideas or recipes for your essential oils to put in the diffuser. As far as like the sanitizer, I just use witch hazel, and you'll want to put it in a glass bottle. That's the main thing, because with plastic it can kind of degrade with the essential oils. So witch hazel, and then really anything that you like, but I kind of stick to the ones that smell a little bit better. So orange, clove, cinnamon, rosemary. And like I said, if you buy like a blend of it, or like this, the Immune Boom that we sell here, or I make you one, it's just easy just to do the blend and throw it all in there.
So our Monica's been making her hand sanitizer for us here.
I love it.
It's so nice, and it smells so
I put
nice.
aloe in it too, so it's not, and like you can use alcohol, just rubbing alcohol. It's a little bit drying. It's just, or witch hazel instead. But I throw some aloe gel in there with it just to kind of,
So we asked her to go ahead and make this for a lot of clients, because clients are coming in and asking us if we have any hand sanitizer. So Monica does make these blends, and we have them for sale right now. But Monica's so great, because if you just ask her, she will let you know what are things that you should be using, or if you have any specific concerns. She will tell you any essential oil that would be a little bit better for you to be using at that moment. Germ Fighter is a great one right now. We have a lot of that going in our rooms, diffusing. The vibration of the essential oils, they have so many health benefits, but they really help to like uplift the space as well too. So especially like being confined in your homes, have your essential oils going. I'm making sure my kids are sleeping with them as well. They're great to incorporate with all of this. Joy said during these hard times, maybe we can learn to be kind again to one another. And I think that's another thing that's really coming up here is, it's like, think of how many times before this that you've gone to Target or the grocery store and never said a word to the person waiting in line with you. And now people are even talking, even if it's like, did you get enough toilet paper or whatever it is, but it's like, it's making people notice one another again, and I feel like that was really lacking. 2020 was again about community and bringing us all together. It's the second chakra, And so whatever's going on right now is forcing us to remember we are all in this together. So here we are having this one life experience, and we're all seeing things in our own way. So based on my whole life experience, I see this world and what's going on right now in a different way than Melissa sees it, in a different way than Monica sees it, different way than Pam sees it. But we're all in this together still. And what she's learning as she's going through everything and processing everything will help me. And what I'm learning will help her. And we realize that even though we're unique individuals here, we all came to do this together, and we need one another. And so this separation is some time right now to look at who we are, so we can look at what it is we bring to the table and we offer to one another. And so we really have to stay focused on the beauty of this and allow whatever's happening, trust that it's happening for a greater good and for us to all learn from all of this.
I got a good story.
Oh, Pam's got a good story. Come on, Pam, come here. I knew it. Bring it in.
I was at Jewel today. Where am I at? I have no idea what you guys just talked about earlier, because I just popped in. But I was at, there I am. I was at Jewel today, and I just wanted 2 containers of eggs. And I got to the register, and the cashier says, oh, we're limiting, you can only have 1 thing of eggs. And I wasn't stocking up, it's just 2 things of eggs. And she took it away, just took it away. And instantly I was I felt anger and irritation come up in me. And I for a moment, I was ready to be unkind, she just took it. And I had to breathe, and I just smiled and realized, she's just doing what she's told to do, and I see the reason why they're limiting. I understand, I can shift my perception, and I just smiled at her, and then she smiled at me, and then we just started laughing, there was that moment where I had to make a decision to go and to fight. I want my eggs, or it's all okay. We're in this together. I understand what the intention of this is. But I did have that moment today at the grocery store.
Glad you mentioned that though,
because I wanted my eggs.
The laughing though.
Yes.
I know, but the laughing is so important because the laughing gets us out of that anger, that anxiety. It's okay, they can hear me. The laughing is so important, so we have to put on comedies.
Yes.
We have to talk with our family and talk about funny things besides all the stuff that's going on. We have to bring laughter in because that raises our vibration. That drops all of this in a second. You cannot be laughing and be anxious in the same moment. You cannot be laughing and be angry in the same moment. You cannot be laughing and be sad in the same moment. It's impossible. You can go back to it when you're done laughing if you choose to. But when you're laughing, you're elevated.
Agree. I don't know, you may have already talked about this already at the beginning of this, but really pay attention to what you're absorbing in, whether it be on social media. We have a lot of extra time on our hands. Are you on Facebook looking at some of the fearful postings that are going on? What are you watching on television? Are you watching the news and the updates? Are you going into the concern and the fear? Pay attention to what you're absorbing into your body, what you're listening to, what you're watching. That it is important because you can look at this different ways. You can look at it as going into the fear, going into the concern, going into the lack or what have you. Or you can look at it as, this is us coming together. This is a time for us to help each other and one for all. And, I don't go on Facebook a lot, but I went on there and there's some funny stuff on there about this whole thing. I was cracking up. There was some really funny stuff on there. And I just laughed and laughed. But then once in a while I would see a post that wasn't so funny, that was kind of fearful. And I would just skip that. and then I would see the post that made me laugh. So it is about feeding through some of the things that are going on right now. And, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on the good things that this is happening, what's bringing us together in, or do you want to go into the fear? So it is important to look at that. But yeah, I think raising your vibration is definitely something to really, all of this is really, really good. The foods we eat, what you're putting in your body is so important. Moving your body is so important. But raising our vibration and really looking at, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, your interactions with people, all of that affects your vibration. So it's things like that you really need to pay attention to also.
So it's not feeding into the
Right, don't feed into
fear,
it.
Right.
feeding into that kind of energy. And
Which brings me into the spiritual part of this conversation today. And yes, I think that's Lumpy, Ricky Herman. Thanks for joining in. But yeah, he's got us toilet papered. My husband does all of our grocery shopping. He's done a great job of keeping us good. Thanks, Jim.
I have no toilet paper still.
We will give you some.
I literally have 6 rolls of toilet paper at home.
You can take some home before you go home tonight. And so the spiritual part of all of this. Oopsie, I'm going the wrong way. Dorothy says she's watching Driving Miss Daisy and the Flintstones. Perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
Keep laughing. So the spiritual part of all this for me is the fear is the separation. Okay, anxiety only occurs because I feel separate from God or my angels or whatever that is like right now at that moment. If I'm driving in a car and I get scared, if I thought Jesus was sitting in the seat next to me, I'd be like, oh, we got this. Jesus is right here. Okay, so my anxiety comes because I feel like the pressure's all on me. I'm all alone. It's this separation. It's this feeling like, crap, I'm all alone in all of this. And so now, even at a deeper level here, so for me, I always felt like this is like we have to get back to believing we're not alone. Ask for your signs, as we've talked about this in many other Facebook videos. But now I want to take this a little bit deeper because it's what we're seeing in this world again too. So Edgar Cayce has another way of looking at the chakra system, where the energy flows from the root chakra to the crown chakra and then out the third eye. So it's basically saying that our perception, what we're seeing in this world, is based on all the experiences we have had in our life that made us come up with a belief about ourselves and about this world. And so now everything I see is only because of my experiences. Okay, so we know, like, if 10 people witness a car accident and then you go ask all those 10 people what they saw also saw something different. That's what's going on here right now. This whole virus thing is going on. Everybody's seeing something different. And so what's going on a deeper level is we have separation within ourselves. So we have aspects of ourselves. We have the good me, the bad me, the selfish me, the all these different me's. And right now, what we need to do is go, and the anxiety about all of this helps us to, when you start asking all those questions, like Melissa was saying, we're actually going to all of those places in me. So say the sun's shining on me. I allow the sun to shine on all the places I'm proud of that are good. The places that I'm embarrassed of, or I wish never happened, or the bad mistakes I made, or all of that, I keep them in the dark. I don't let the sun shine there. But they are wanting so bad to be loved. And so I might seek in this world people who can love me in these areas. But the truth of the matter is I will never let them in there. Like, they're locked away. The only way I'll let someone love me there is if I love it first. And so right now, we can go and look at all of those places that need to say, I know you went through that. I feel like you made the wrong decision, but you know what? I actually, if you didn't go through all that and make that decision, I would not be who I am today. I would not love people in the way. I wouldn't have forgiveness and compassion for people who did similar things. I forgive them. I have compassion for them. I love them. But I'm still not in that place of acceptance in myself. And so right now, in this quiet time, we have to go and look at all those places. It's like inviting every aspect of myself to a party. Not being embarrassed that one might come to the party and embarrass me and drink too much or dance silly or whatever it is. Like every piece of me has to be present in every single thing I do for me to love what I'm doing. If only pieces of me are allowed to show through, I will always end the day feeling incomplete. And so right now, we have this great opportunity to take all these aspects of ourselves and say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I pushed you aside. I needed you. I've always needed you. You're great. Everything that you went through that you thought of has helped me be the person who I am. I wouldn't be loving others without this. And so we have to find a way to incorporate that all into ourselves so that when we do come to the group, we really have something to offer. If I show up 100% me to the group, people might not really care about what I say, what my message is, but they'll be like, she was just completely vulnerable. She was just completely her. I think I could do that too. We can tell when people are only showing their good side. And when we see people really be 100% authentic in who they are, it gives us the courage to do the same. And right now, we are creating all of those people to say, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to grow from this. I'm going to do this. And as one person does it, other people get the courage to stand up and do this as well. And so, again, take advantage of this. Do some work to see where are there pieces of yourself that you are not loving and accepting into your whole spirit. Every experience you have ever had in your life was for your soul's growth, was so that you would learn how to shine your light and give love to this world where it's needed. And it is so needed. But if you block it in yourself, then you have judgment of where it's deserved in this world. So pay attention to your judgments and what you see. And when you see it in your outside world, turn it back on yourself and see where that judgment lies in yourself and try really hard to love that. So when we do get through this and out there, we can see the whole community that we've built just by doing a lot of this inside work and then being ready to take this to a further level together. Mm-hmm.
And from a spiritual point too, a big part of this, I feel like it is trying to move us in a direction of slowing down. Yeah. I really truly believe that. I've had some clients come in and there's a fear of, I have to stay home. What am I supposed to do now? Mm-hmm. To get out of the doing, always doing, and to slow down, and take advantage of the time where, if you are at home, turn the TV off, mm-hmm. Put the computer away and do some journaling, do some meditating, connect with the people that are in your house, really, really connect. Get the board games out, get the cards out. Make it about connection with the people in your home. Remove the distractions from your life for just a little while. During this time, don't replace it with more distractions. Move the distractions out and really make it about connection with the people in your home that you're isolated with.
Amen.
Yeah, and to slow down and get out of the doing. And I love the idea of just journaling and going deep and going into some of these, what are you feeling? Write about it, really dive into it. So yeah, I think a part of the spiritual aspect also is moving us out of the doing and connecting more here with ourselves and what we're feeling, and connecting with our loved ones that are with us in this situation. Yeah.
One last thing that I wanted to mention is I've been feeling such a connection to angels, guides, like they are so right here for us. So if you're not really into the angels, even just think of like your favorite pop star, whatever it is, whatever energy that they represent to you, that they bring to you, that's the energy that's trying to shower down on you right now. So pay attention to that as well. We are never, ever, ever alone, and you have to absorb that with any means possible. So along with the journaling, pray and listen for your answers of what you hear. Because we're all seeing this in different ways, our answers are going to come back differently for all of us too. And your answers are always right for you, and you have to find a way to trust them. That's another thing that's with lungs here. So besides the grief and grieving, in here is also forgiveness, letting go, and trust. Trust is huge. And so we have to trust in a higher power and trust that we are being guided and looked over and protected, and call in on all of that energy. Ask for your signs. Ask a question and listen to the answer, and then trust that answer because it's for you. Anything that comes to you that's filled with fear is not from a higher power. The only things coming from a higher power will be of love and hope. And so when you receive that message, you know you can trust it. All right. Anyone have any last final words here?
The only last thing I wanted to mention is intention is really, really powerful. So, if you do, which we probably all will eventually get this virus, which it's important that we do get the virus, to build our immune system. But your intention is really, really important, really, really powerful. So if you set the intention that, this virus will come and go easily, then that is something you can manifest, just setting the intention that, thank you for building my immune system. It'll come easy, it'll go easy, and allow that process, allow it to be an easy process. Intention is really, really important during this time.
And we know too. So that's where gratitude becomes so important with everything, is we already know people have gotten this and not died. We already know that. So we know it's possible. So it's not like it's not an impossible thought to have. It's actually true, and it's already happened. So if we can align our intention with that thought that this can come and it may not do anything to me, and my body is strong enough, and I'm doing all these other things to build my body up, and I am protected, and all of these things, but we already know it's true. It's not like a fairy tale thing that we're asking here. We already really know people have had this virus, and people are fine. They're good, and so I am too. And then we do wherever our body calls for us to do that work. If our body calls for us to do that on a physical level, concentrate on the physical level. If our body's calling us to dive more into the emotions, go more into the emotions. If our body's asking us to have a little bit more faith and trust, then go there as well. I know my church. I know churches are closed right now, so that might be hard, but I know some are online and doing their sermons online right now too. So it's you can still receive all of this stuff. We're going to try to keep reaching out and keeping things online so that people can keep grasping for hope and have their questions answered. And so if you do have any questions, please let us know, and we'd love to answer that for you. We're going to keep things fun. We're going to play with tarot cards and pendulums, and just keep talking about all of this kind of stuff and dealing with where we're at. We don't know where we're going to be a week from now, but wherever we are, we're still going to be available and reaching out. So,
and wherever we are is where we're supposed to be. Trust it. Trust whatever is being manifested right now. was created for our greater good. Whatever that is, trust the process, trust it. Yeah, just.
I feel like right now I've been playing with faith over fear. And I just in my moments, my ups and downs, I ask, is this faith or is this fear? What am I feeding here? Where's my attention going? Where's my focus going? And how can I change that if I don't like it? So remember that faith over fear.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and write, and we will try to respond.
And we're accepting toilet paper as payment starting tomorrow. At least I am. I'm accepting toilet paper as payment starting
Us three
tomorrow.
are not. Sorry, we're still taking regular currency at this moment, but you can tip or pay Pam in toilet paper, and she'll be very happy. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll keep in touch.